Hey everyone, in today's lecture, we'll be discussing about the Lissajous patterns in a CRO. We'll be discussing how the Lissajous patterns that are formed in a CRO can be used for the measurement of phase and how these patterns can be used for the measurement of frequency. We will be discussing about the measurement of phase and frequency by using Lissajous pattern. Now in that, first we'll start with the measurement of phase. Now when we are discussing about the measurement of phase, here we can see that three different type of figures are formed. That is a straight line, a circle and an ellipse. Now let us see how these three different figures are formed. Now when a sinusoidal voltage is simultaneously applied, as we have previously said that if for a CRO or for a CRT screen we have a vertical plate and an horizontal plate. Now when I am applying two sinusoidal voltages to the horizontal, that is to the vertical plate and to the horizontal plate, sinusoidal voltages are applied, we can see that some pattern it will appear on the screen of the CRT, that is on the cathode ray tube, this fluorescent screen, some patterns will appear and these patterns are called as Lissajous patterns. Now we will be discussing about the first technique, that is the measurement of phase. Now for the measurement of phase, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that the vertical and the horizontal sinusoidal quantity that we are giving, both should have frequency which is equal, that is the frequency of the signal applied to the vertical plate and the frequency of the signal applied to the horizontal plate, both should have a frequency which are equal. And now we can see that the pattern which will appear on a screen will be a straight line. We will get a straight line when both the frequency component are same. Now let us look at this figure. Looking at this figure, we can see here that this is the horizontal signal that is this signal applied to the horizontal plate and this is a signal applied to the vertical plate. Now here we can see that both are having the same frequency. For example, if the frequency of this is 50 Hertz, the frequency of this signal is also equal to 50 Hertz. And one more thing that we can see here is that both are starting at 0, that is its phase. Both phase are also equal, that is the angle difference between the phase angle difference is 0 degree. Now when the phase angle difference is 0 degree, we can get a straight line. So this is the first condition. Now for the first condition, the frequency of the horizontal plate and the frequency of the signal applied to vertical plate, both should be equal and the phase angle difference between both should be equal to 0 degree. Then I'll get a straight line. Now the second condition that is possible is of a circle. Now how we will get a circle? That is when we are applying two equal voltages and the voltages that we are applying, that is the signals that we are applying, both the signals have equal frequency, that is Fe is equal to Fh are equal, and the voltage, that is the voltage of the vertical signal and voltage of the horizontal signal are also equal, and the angle difference between both the signals when it is 90 degree, at this time we will get a pattern which is equal to 0, which is equal to a circle. Now here we can see that the signal is starting at 0, but here we can see that the signal that is at 0 we'll have a signal that is at its positive maximum, that is there is a phase difference of 90 degree. Now when there is a phase difference of 90 degree, we will get a circle. Now the third condition that is possible is that of an ellipse, that is when two equal voltages, that is VV and VH, both the voltages are equal and the frequency of the frequency of signal applied to vertical plate and to the horizontal plate are also equal, and it is not equal to 0 degree or it is not equal to 90 degree, that is it is a value in between both these two things, then we will obtain an ellipse. So here you can clearly see that an ellipse is obtained. Now here the angle, it is equal to 30 degree, that is the angle is not 0 degree or it is not 90 degree, and here also we can see here that here also we will be getting an ellipse we will be getting. Now one thing that we can clearly understand here is that as the signal, as the phase difference is moving, we can see that the direction it is moving. Now in the first figure we can see that straight line is formed in this manner, ellipse is getting formed in this manner, then a circle is coming, the direction of ellipse is changing and the direction of the straight line is also changing, that is moving from 0 degree to 180 degree. Now for the purpose of understanding this, let us go for a video.
So now we're back to where we are. So actually we're just tracing around that circle really, really fast. Okay, and again, if we go and play with the phase of this, I'll move in 10-degree steps here. So that's a 90-degree phase shift. There's 80, okay, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, etc., down to 0 degrees, and now we're lined back up again. Work our way back up through 90 degrees, okay? Keep going, we go to 180 degrees, there we are there. If I keep going, it draws a circle again and say, well, let's see, if I get up to 270 degrees, that looks just like my 90-degree picture, because it really is. The signals are still 90 degrees apart, but they're 90 degrees apart the other way, okay?
Now moving further, now based on this discussion, we can clearly see that the video that we have seen. In this video we can clearly see that as the angle is proceeding, as the angle is increasing, we can see here that the size of the ellipse, it is going on increasing, and finally a circle is formed. Then we can see that the size of the ellipse, it is going on decreasing, and then a straight line is formed, as it is clearly evident from the video. That is, using an experimental setup, we can easily get these Lissajous patterns we can get. Now based on the discussion, there are 3 basic conclusions that we can make. The first conclusion is that we'll get a straight line when the 2 voltages are equal and the phase is also equal. That is, for getting a straight line, the condition is that the horizontal frequency and vertical frequency, the voltage of the vertical plate and the voltage of the horizontal plate, when they are exactly that is when both are exactly equal, and the value of phase is 0 degree or it is 180 degree, at this time we can get a straight line we can get. So this is the conclusion that we are getting on the basis of this discussion that we have made. Then we can also see that the angle formed with the horizontal is 45 degree when the magnitude of voltages are equal. Now one more thing to be noted here is that the angle that is formed, the pattern that it is forming a straight line, the angle that is formed with any of the axis, when we check, it will be equal to 45 degrees. So this is one of the conclusion that we get. Now for example, if the vertical voltage, if the vertical voltage is greater than the horizontal voltage but the frequency value are staying the same, we can see here that the line will have an angle greater than 45 degree compared to the horizontal. That is, with the horizontal, this was exactly this should have been the value that we are getting when the vertical plates voltage and horizontal plates voltage are equal. But what will happen is that with the horizontal, the angle will become greater, 45 degree, that this 45 degree will shift. Now when this 45 degree is shifting, it means that the voltage of the vertical plate is greater. The next conclusion that we can make here is that when the horizontal plates voltage value is greater than the vertical plates voltage value, we can see here that a greater horizontal voltage, it makes an angle which is less than 45 degree with the horizontal plate. It will make an angle which is less than 45 degree. That is this is for the first case, that is when vertical plates voltage is greater. This is for the second case, when vertical plates voltage is higher and when both the voltages are equal. This is the third case. A small clarification, I made an error while saying 3 conditions that I am getting. This is VV, VH, and when both the values are equal. So this is the lines that we will get, straight lines that we will get. So this is the first conclusion that we can make for straight lines. The second conclusion that we can make here is that when 2 sinusoidal waveforms which have same frequency, it will produce a straight line. Circle or an ellipse, it will depend upon the phase and the magnitude of voltage. Now we can see here that a circle will be formed when the magnitude of the 2 signals are equal. That is, VV is equal to VH, both should be equal, and the phase difference should be either 90 degree or 270 degree. So as we have seen from the video that we have seen, we can see here that 2 times a circle is formed. That is, when the difference between both the values are plus 90 degree or minus 90 degree, that is 90 or 270 degree, we can get a circle. Now if the voltages are not equal and if they are out of phase, that is, in this condition, if the voltages are not equal and they are out of phase, then we can make out that a ellipse will be formed. And one more thing that we have to understand here is that if the Y voltage is larger, Y voltage means, that is, if the horizontal voltage is larger than the vertical voltage, we will get an ellipse with vertical major axis. We'll get an ellipse which is having a vertical major axis. That is, for an ellipse we know that two axes are there. This is the major axis and this is the minor axis. So when the y voltage is larger, an ellipse will be formed with the vertical major axis. If the x voltage is larger, that is, if x voltage is larger than the horizontal plates voltage, x means the vertical plates voltage, if it is larger than the horizontal plates voltage, we can clearly make out that the major axis of the ellipse will be lying along the horizontal axis. So this is the second conclusion that we can make. The third conclusion that we can make is that for equal voltages of same frequency and progressive variation of phase voltages, it will cause the pattern to vary from a straight line, then it will move to a ellipse, then it will become a circle. After that it will move through again another series of ellipse, then again a straight line, then again a circle will be formed. That is, if I am keeping on moving it progressively, that is from 0 degree, 10 degree, in that manner I am moving up to 90 degree, then I am coming back to 180 degree, or I am moving up to 180 degree, I'll get straight line, then I'll get an ellipse, the size of the ellipse will keep on increasing, then I'll get a circle, then the direction of ellipse it will change, the size will keep on decreasing, and a straight line I'll get. So in this manner the pattern will keep on repeating itself, right? So from this diagram it is quite clear that for 0 degree phase difference of 0 degree, phase difference of 30 degree, that is in between 0 degree and 90 degree, phase difference in between 90 degree and 180 degree, again an ellipse is formed, a circle, straight line. So depending on the measurement of phase, for the measurement of phase only three different patterns can be formed, that is straight line, circle, ellipse. Now for the measurement of phase, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that frequency value, that is frequency of the signal applied to both the plates, should always be equal. The magnitude value can be different or the amplitude value can be different, but the frequency value always has to stay same. If the frequency value is not staying same, it means that we will not be getting proper, that is, we will not be getting a Lissajous pattern for the measurement of phase. That is, some other patterns will be formed other than line, circle and ellipse. Some other patterns will be formed, and we cannot comment on the that is, we cannot comment on the values of the phase signal. The second thing that we are having is frequency measurements. That is how we can measure frequency using Lissajous patterns. Now for this we have one thing that we have to keep in mind here is that now in previously the frequency values were same, now frequency values will not be same. Right, now here we can see here that the signal whose frequency is to be measured will always be applied to the Y plate, and an accurately calibrated standard variable signal. That is, for example, a known frequency value signal, it will be given to X. That is, for example, f is equal to 50 Hertz. I will be giving a signal of known value. It will be well calibrated. There will be not be any variation. There will not be any plus minus or any tolerance errors will not be there. In that manner, a signal I will be giving to the X plate, and to the Y plate I will be giving a signal X, that is whose frequency value has to be measured. Right, now here we can see that to the X plate and to the Y plate, what I'll do is I'll be applying sinusoidal waves. To the X plate also sinusoidal signal is given, to the Y plate also sinusoidal signal is given. Both these frequencies are different, right? The wave applied to Y plates is twice that of the voltage applied to X plate. This means that the CRT spot has to travel 2 complete cycles in the vertical direction and only 1 in the horizontal direction, right? So depending on how this different signals or how these different waveforms is given, based on that many times the spot will move in the X direction or in the Y direction, right? Now let us see some patterns, Lissajous patterns that are formed. Now for example, let us consider this Lissajous pattern. Now it can be shown for the above case that the ratio of the two frequencies, the ratio of two frequencies can be given using this formula, that is Fy by Fx is equal to, let us look at the first formula, the number of times the tangent touches the top or bottom. That is for Y, number of Y is nothing but the Y plate. To the Y plate, what signal I am giving, that signal, based on that signal, how that signal, what is the nature of that signal, it can be determined by number of times the tangent touches the top or bottom. Then X, the signal given to X plate, I can determine its characteristics depending on the number of times the tangent touches the touches the either side, or in short it can be written as Fy is equal to Fx. The ratio I will get it to be number of horizontal tangencies divided by number of vertical tangencies. Now how to calculate the tangencies? For example, if this is the pattern that is formed, I have to draw two lines. That is, one thing that is to be kept in mind is that this is full figures, that is, it is not half figure. Like this is not the figure that we are getting both the patterns to be closed paths. Now what I have to do is I have to either draw a line at the top or either draw a line at the bottom. I have one line, or either draw a line at one side or to this side. Either one line I have to draw. Now let us look here, right? Now here in this pattern, what I am doing is, on to the top I am drawing a line and to the side I am drawing a line. I have to check how many times this line is getting touched in this pattern. Now here I can see 2 times it is getting touched. Here I can see only 1 time it is getting touched. So this is my horizontal tangency and this is my vertical tangency. So the formula was Fy by Fx. The horizontal tangency is 2 in this case, the vertical tangency is 1. So this means that the signal is up in the ratio 2:1. So it means that, for example, if the vertical signal's value was known and it is 50, it means that the signal applied here is 100 hertz. So based on what pattern is formed, I can easily make out what is the level of signal that what is the amount of frequency for the signal that I am measuring, because one signal is known, the other signal I can easily make it out. Now let us look at this pattern. Now in this pattern, what I will do, I will draw a line at the top, a line at the side. I can see here that the horizontal tangency is 4, the vertical tangency only 1 time it is, the pattern is intersecting, so it is 1, that is 4:1. Now let us look at this figure. Looking at this figure, we can clearly make out that a line is drawn at the top, a line at this side. 2 times vertical axis it is vertical tangency, 3 horizontal tangency. So I can write the signal to be Fy. The ratio of Fy to Fx is equal to 3:2. Now here we can see that the X plate value, the voltage that I am given, is a known value. For example, if the Fx value is 50, it means that 150 hertz is the frequency value of the signal that is applied to the Y plate, right? Now this was when the signals that I am getting are closed loop. So here it is also closed loop. All these 4 patterns that are coming, it is a closed loop. Here also all the patterns that are formed is a closed loop. Now when closed loops are coming, at that time I can directly apply the formula, that is, I can directly measure the tangencies I can measure, and I can clearly write what value I am getting. I can easily determine. Now for example, if a pattern is formed in this manner. Now when a pattern is formed in this manner, only 2 full loops are there, a half loop is also there, or a pattern is formed which are having free ends. Now here we can see here that 2 free ends are there. Now when this type of condition is coming, here we have to go for the modified rule. The modified rule, it states that number of intersections of the horizontal line with the curve, number of intersections of the vertical line with the curve. Now how to determine that? For example, this is the pattern. Now what I will do is, I will have to sketch a line, horizontal line. The horizontal line should be in such a manner, in this manner, where anywhere I can draw the horizontal line. Then I have to draw a vertical line. Now for example, let me draw the vertical line here. Now I have to check how many times these lines are intersecting the pattern. Here I can see horizontal, it is intersecting 2 times. Now here I can see it is intersecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it is intersecting, and it is intersecting 2 times. So the value that I'll get is 5/2. So here I can see, here I can clearly make out the ratio is 5/2, or I can make it to be 2.5:1. So it means that 50, if the one value the 50 hertz, then it will be 125 hertz will be the value of the pattern, the value of the signal which is to be measured. Now let us look at this case, the next case. Let us look at the next case. So what I will do is, I will sketch a vertical line, I will sketch a horizontal line. So here I can clearly make out 3 divided by 2. That is, it will be in the ratio of 1:5:1. 1. So here I can clearly make out the frequency of the measured signal will be 75 Hertz if the frequency of known signal is 50 Hertz. Directly I can make out. So this is the modified rule which can use, and this modified rule can be used for both the cases. Now let us look here. Here also I can make out 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 divided by 1, 2. The modified rule can be applied for all the cases. It can be directly applied, right? Then we can see here that when I am going for the measurement of frequency, there are some restrictions that we have to keep in mind. The first is that is the CRO should have the bandwidth required for this frequency. Now for example, if I am going to give a 5000 Hertz signal to the plates to measure what is the frequency, this 5000 Hertz signal value is unknown. What is its frequency? It is unknown. So what I have to do is I'll have to give it to a plate, and if the bandwidth of my CRO is not supporting, I cannot measure this. So this is the first restriction that I have to keep in mind. The second restriction that I have to keep in mind is that the ratio should not be such to make the pattern too complicated. If the pattern that is formed is too complicated, I cannot find out what will be the ratio, whether it is 5/2 or what is the ratio, I cannot find out. So this is the second restriction when we are going for the measurement of frequency. Now we can see here that the ratios can be as high as 10:1 and it can be as low as 10:9. So in this ratio I can easily make measurements for any unknown signal based on a known signal's frequency value. So by using Lissajous pattern, I can easily make measurements for phase, that is unknown phase values, that is what phase difference between two signals are there. It can be easily be compared based on what pattern is sketched on my CRO screen. Then I can also measure the value of the frequency components based on what figure is or what pattern is formed on the screen of a CRO.